feel guilty on rest days. I know you do. It sits in your chest at 10 in the morning. Everyone else is training. The gains are happening without you. Rest is for people who have not earned it. Right. Here's the truth that breaks that belief. You do not build muscle when you train. You build it when you stop. Training is the demolition. Rest is the construction. Skip the construction and you're just demolishing a building forever. That is not discipline. That is a half-finished job. Let me show you the mechanism. You will never feel guilty again. Quick thing. This is the Recovery Science Series. 7 videos taking apart the recovery myths everyone repeats. Subscribe so you stop training against your own biology now, while the rest day is where it all happens. First, let me be fair to the belief. It is not all wrong. Progressive overload is real. You do have to train hard. Never train, and you never grow. Nobody is arguing that. But here's what grind culture quietly skipped. More sessions is not the same as more progress. Past a point, more just means more demolition and less building. The problem is what the belief leaves out, and it leaves out the most important half of the equation. Training is only the signal. It is the request. The actual building happens after. When you stop, confuse the signal with the response, and you sabotage both. This video is about the gap between your sessions, and why that gap is not empty time. It is the main event. So here is what really happens when you train hard. You damage the muscle on purpose. Tiny tears in the fibers. Inflammation floods in. That is not growth. That is controlled injury. Now here is the part nobody teaches you. The repair does not just patch the damage, it overbuilds. Satellite cells wake up. They fuse onto the fiber. They hand over their nuclei. More machinery to build protein. And here's the wild part. You keep those nuclei, even if you detrain for a while. The machinery lingers. That is the muscle memory you have heard about. It is real. Built on the rest days, you almost skipped. But this takes time. It does not happen during your set. Protein synthesis more than doubles by around 24 hours. Then it falls away over the next day or so. In trained lifters, most of it is done inside 48 hours. The repair crew works for a day or two, not 60 minutes. And here is where the belief collapses. Train that same muscle again too soon. And you do not add to the build, you interrupt it. You pull the crew off the job before the walls are up. The muscle you were owed never arrives. Not because the session was bad, it just came too early. Now multiply that across a month. Interrupt the build twice a week, every week. And you wonder why the mirror is stuck. It is not your genetics, it is your spacing. Now, before the high frequency crowd comes for me, training a muscle often is not the crime. You can hit a muscle several times a week and grow. What wrecks you is max effort volume, stacked daily, no gap. Give that muscle a day or two. Picture the classic mistake. It is chest day on Monday. You are still sore on Wednesday, but Thursday is chest day again. So you train it because the calendar said so. You were mid-repair and you just interrupted it. You did not train harder. You trained over yourself. The fix was one extra day, not one extra session. Your split should serve the biology, not the other way around. If this is already changing how you train, subscribe. 6 more myths in this series, each one this practical. Now, some of you are thinking, is this just overtraining? No, and I made a whole episode on that. You are probably not overtrained, you are underslept. Go watch that one. It is in this series. This is different. This is not about being broken. This is about the gap between sessions. Even when you sleep fine, even a fresh, well-slept lifter can train a muscle too soon. So let us make rest a real part of the program, not days off. Programmed recovery with 3 rules. 1, rest is assigned, not earned, not random. It is the window for the repair to actually finish. And no, light deadlifts on your rest day do not count. 2, separate muscle rest from system rest. You can train back to back if you hit different muscles. But your nervous system does not care that you switched lifts. It only knows the total load you asked it to drive. Track readiness, not soreness. Can you still hit your numbers? If your output is sliding all week, you're under-recovered. The fix is not more caffeine, it is more rest. 3. Rest responds to your life, not just your training. A rest day after a brutal week is not the same as one after a calm week, high stress week. Cut the volume, protect the quality. A clean 60% session beats a wrecked all-out one. And one level up, program a deload every few hard weeks. Pull the volume back on purpose. Not because you're weak. Adaptation needs a valley. You cannot climb forever. The dip is what lets you peak. So what does a real rest day look like? Not the couch for 24 hours? Light movement is fine. A walk, easy mobility, nothing that sends a training signal. Eat enough. Protein and carbs. You're funding the build, and drop the guilt. The guilt is not burning fat, it is just noise. If you want the version the grind crowd will not give you, subscribe. This is the whole channel now. Why does this myth refuse to die? Here's why rest still feels like weakness. It is not physiology, it is psychology. The fitness industry sells effort because effort is visible. You can film the sweat, the grind, the bar going up. You can print no days off on a t-shirt. What you cannot film is satellite cells fusing at 2 in the morning. What you cannot post is protein synthesis peaking while you sleep. The mechanism is invisible, so the culture ignores it. And the guy grinding through deep fatigue is not disciplined. He is inefficient, trading effort for results and losing. And the algorithm rewards the wrong thing. A sweaty grind clip gets views, a nap does not. So the loudest voices are the ones who never rest on camera. Do not take recovery advice from a highlight reel. Here is my honest take. Come fight me below. The people with the best physiques do not train the most. They recover the best. Discipline is not how often you suffer. It is how precisely you run the whole cycle, demolition and construction. Not just the loud half. Skipping rest does not make you tough. It makes you the guy doing damage he never cashes in. Training without recovery is just organized self-sabotage with great adherence and nothing to show for it. So look at a rest day for what it actually is. It is the most biologically active day of your week. Satellite cells fusing, protein synthesis peaking. The session broke you down. The rest day builds you back, bigger, stronger than before you walked in. Every rest day you took is sitting in that muscle. Every one you skipped is a gain you left on the floor. You do not build muscle when you train. You build it when you stop. So stop earning your rest days. Start programming them. That is the Recovery Science Series. Next up, your recovery score is lying to you, or you're reading it wrong. We will settle it. Subscribe so it lands in your feed when it drops. Evidence, not marketing. Now, be honest with me. Drop a comment. Longest you have gone with no real rest day. And what broke first? Body, lifts, or motivation?